Hey guys, it's been a while since I've made a video. I decided I was gonna make one today, purely to send to the wargaming developers. Just my thoughts on what's going on in the game at this point. I keep seeing these surveys in my game, and I'm really upset when I get to questions like, how likely are you to recommend World of Tanks to a friend? I am really upset that when hell freezes over is not an option in the survey. I mean, come on, make it a little more, just a little more colorful. We don't need just a number system. Let's make it more interesting. It's not going to happen. I'm never going to recommend this game the way it is to anyone at this point. So why don't we just say it straight out instead of zero? But I thought I would share some of my reasoning behind saying that. So there are quite a few reasons for it, and I'm not even going to begin to scratch the surface in this video, but I'm just going to throw up a few of them. I've got this gameplay in the background for something for y'all to watch while I'm talking about this. But so lately, let's just talk about lately. They Wargaming finally reworked the Type 5 and made the derp gun useless now, pretty much, which to me is a step in the right direction. That thing was just stupid with the derp gun. Finally, a step in the right direction. However, how can you not be smart enough to see that when you nerf the derp gun, that tank, the AP gun on that tank is so god awful. The gold shell on the Type 5's AP gun has 280 or 290 pin maybe now. I know they changed it recently. But either way, it's not enough. It's not enough to pin an enemy Type 5 at that point. There's the problem. The gun just won't compete. It can't. So basically, I've got a tank in my garage now that is unplayable. There's no reason to play my Type 5 in the way that you have it in the game right now. There's no reason to play it. You buffed the Kranvagn. We're calling it a buff. I have my doubts. So they buffed the DPM on the Kranvagn, which is good. It needed it. I'm not complaining about that. I'm really not all that crazy about reworking it to be a 3-shell autoloader instead of a 4, but I can deal with that. But if you're going to rework a tank, again, look at the gold shell on that tank. It has 300 heat pin for a gold shell. That's it. Tell me, how many super heavies are you going to pin frontally with 300 heat pin? It's not going to be very reliable, I can tell you that much. But we'll not even get into that. Let's look at some of the other tanks that are just poorly designed and not up to speed with this game at this point. Let's look at the E5. They buffed it until it was fairly overpowered at the time. Although if they buffed it back to the point where it was when everybody was screaming it was overpowered and put it in the game now, it would still be a worse version of the Super Conch and the Chieftain. I mean, but that being said, the E5 is just sad now. There's no place for it in the game right now. The IS-7 again is a fine tank, but 303 pin on the gold shell with the super heavies in the game now makes pinning super heavies frontally just a pain in the ass. The list goes on, but those are just my favorite examples of how bad the balance of the tanks in this game is right now. You recently reworked matchmaking in this new patch, which it needed. You know, I'm not arguing with the need for that, but why am I still seeing games with 3 already on each side of the map? You will never be able to convince me that you need 6 arty in any one game. Okay, here's you a new replay. But back to the arty. 6 arty games are just so toxic and just ridiculously slow paced. I mean, the gameplay just grinds to a halt while everybody hides. And everybody knows it's the truth. I mean, they're just horrible games. A lot of people will just run out and die whenever they see 6 arty in the game, just to get out of the game and go try and find a different game that doesn't have 6 arty in it. And you can argue with me on that point if you want, but it's true. Alright, so now let's talk about how ridiculously overpowered RNG is. And I mean, I'm a pretty good player at this game, but the simple fact of the matter is that skill does not matter in this game at all. If anything, skill is punished in this game by RNG, and that's just all there is to it on that. A lot of the days I won't even play random battles. I will log in, play 2 or 3 games, see that my RNG is going to be god awful. There's nothing I'm going to be able to do in random battles, and I just log off. I mean, there's no point fighting it at this point. When it's that ridiculous, I just let it go. I won't even play. And that needs to change. That has been a problem in this game forever. It's still a problem, and how long is it going to take you guys to realize that it's not all that fun to sit here and aim your shots? You know, do everything in your power to kill an enemy tank, and then see your shell bounce off of a tank, off of a part of the tank that it should never bounce off of. I mean, that's just completely the opposite of fun to me. And when it starts happening on a regular basis, that's when I decide it's time to call it a day. And that's it happens way too much. But I'm not going to go on and on about RNG, even though I could. I mean, I feel very strongly on that point, and I could, but I won't. That's all I'm going to say about it. So at this point in the game, though, especially for NA players, we do not have League anymore. Thank you, Wargaming, by the way. We don't have League anymore. The population base is just dwindling to nothing every day. I mean, it's just, it's going down, and it's not going to go back up. That's all there is to it. But in Wargaming will not transfer accounts from the NA server to the EU server. They just won't. Okay? And there's only one real reasoning for that you can honestly believe. And that's that people like me that have so many premium tanks and have spent so much money on this game, they don't want you to just be able to go to a new server with all your tanks. They want you to buy them again. It's a straight up money grab. It doesn't matter what happens to the NA server, they're never going to transfer accounts for that reason alone. And I don't agree with it. I think you're treating your customers like shit, and yeah, I don't agree with it, but that's fine. But it's just another, you know, shitty part of wargaming that everybody knows about. So, on to the next subject. Since we're talking about money grabs, let's go on to the premium tanks that have been introduced into the game and the pay-to-win mentality that wargaming promotes, where premium tanks are better than the tech tree versions of the same tank. If you need examples, I don't know how you would need examples, but the Defender, the Patriot, the Progetto, LT432, even the ELC even 90 is better than the tech tree versions. And then on to our last subject. I'm not going to start a last replay for this one. I'm just going to finish it out real quick. Your map design is god awful. If you can't come up with anything besides corridor maps, you need to fire the people that are designing your maps. That's all there is to it. Every single one of them just funnel into choke points. It's just horrible. It's stagnant gameplay. There's not really any flanking. There's not all that much room for aggressive play with the maps you've got. I mean, let's be honest. You introduce the map bans, which is great because there are 2 maps that I will never play again. But if we're being honest, I need probably 10 map bans to cover it all. So, but that's all I'm going to say about it at this point. So the next time you send a survey, I'm just going to refer Wargaming employees to this video. Am I ever going to recommend this game to a friend the way it is now? No. Maybe when hell freezes over. But that's all I've got for you. I hope you guys like the gameplay. I hope that Wargaming will take a look at this video and rethink their ideas about their game, but I know they won't. They're at this point, I do not believe them capable of change. So it's just my venting my frustrations at this point. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.